What's up? Carcino here, and let's get into it. This is the Chris Paul dilemma. Shorty Dirty has returned. And then some. And then some, Kenny. Now, when you talk about Chris Paul, you might need to be prepared for a larger variety of differences. Thanks, Andre. I can see we still having problems with people getting their notifications, and this isn't right. But anyway, well, when he was traded in 2011, this is where he originally wanted to go, is New York. When he asked for the trade, he thought he would go to the New York Knicks. See, he was supposed to go there, and Melo was supposed to be there. Chris Paul and Melo was going to be on the same team on the Knicks. That didn't work out. There's a lot of things that we've learned about Chris Paul over the years that we just didn't say anything, and we just kept it towards the end. I was gonna actually do the CP injury thing all the way to the end, but Chris Paul became impossible to work with once he became president of the players union. And his ego started to grow outside of his body, and he became a massive thorn in people's side. Well, him and David West, who's one of the greatest guys and teammates you could ever want to play for, bumped heads a lot in practice and in the team meeting when they were saying that, because he was the first one to say, trust your team, give the ball up in certain situations. And then when Chris Paul was out, the backup point guard at that time was getting more of the repetitions. And if you guys are coming in, please hit the like button when you come through. Thank you. We appreciate it. Well, the problem was this. Chris Paul wanted the team and the thing to go his way. He told the head coach, he went at it with the head coach. It was like, if I ain't running the pipe, he was telling him something. And he's like, you think I don't know? I need to hear that, or do they need to hear that? And he's telling Chris, like, look, pull Chris to the side. He said, look, man, if you don't know how to reach them or talk to them, and they not gonna respond to you, then we gonna lose. It wasn't settling in for him. He was just trying to tell people. He's like, people got different frequencies, Chris. When you talk to them, you can't talk to one person the same way it works with him. It's gonna work with everybody else. He said, that's what being a coach and stuff is all about. He said, well, then you do that. You the coach. You want to run point? So he's like, I know what I'm doing on the court. I know this game. So I've been playing it my whole life, so I know it. He just wasn't willing to hear at that time. So they was like, well, he'll grow into this guy that's gonna do this and do that. But he wasn't growing. Chris Paul descended more and more and more. What's up, Solo TB84? I just recently listened to our interview we did a while ago. It's quite interesting listening to myself in the interview because that was more uncandid talking. I was cracking myself up, laughing at myself talking about act. That was funny. Oh, you saw my response when 50 Cent put up a video about a new song with Ed Sheeran, him, and and Eminem. I'm like, man, I can't get jiggy with no Ed Sheeran. I've never heard nobody that I roll with say, "Hey, yo, man, yo, play that Ed Sheeran joint." Shoot, any girl I've ever been with said, "Ooh, I want to get my back blown out. Put on that Ed Sheeran." Didn't happen. So, so naturally, Chris Paul decided to change the script. Okay, Chris Paul wanted to change. Chris Paul wanted to change the script. He decided that he was gonna dictate where he wanted to go because when the strike happened, remember the NBA strike? See, this details I didn't want to really get into early on, but I'm gonna let you guys know here. The NBA was fighting for all this stuff. All these big contracts everybody getting now, they need to thank Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the reason you guys are getting these crazy contracts. The NBA allowed this to happen for certain aspects of control that they had. Now, now that you got a new commissioner who's basically moving to the beat of their drum, you guys have abused the system that has been put in place. Now you guys are dictating changes. Free agency now is every 2 years. That's why when you guys go back to the table, it's gonna be a hard day because the owners is not gonna be happy. And when they get back to them tables, it's gonna be rough. Now Chris Paul was in court all those days while all you guys did was sit at home, rest, chill, kick it. Chris Paul was in court all day, getting tired. And he'll work out with his personal trainer. And he had certain players who couldn't go to the facilities because it was a lockout during the NBA draft. And he was still with the Hornets at the time. So that's when they was the New Orleans Hornets. So he had a personal trainer that he would work out with. So Trevor Ariza and a couple of the other players in the league would come over and work out with Chris Paul. He allowed him to come work out with him because he had his facility open. And Dale Demps was in there and they was like, when this is over, because Dale Demps was standing with Chris, he was basically on the same thing as Chris Paul was saying. They was on the same wavelength. So when they came back and they got their deal and everything else, and they was trying to work on a long-term extension to make Chris Paul their featured player. But after talking with the rest of the team, they were like, that guy don't want to be here, and we don't really want him here. They were like, really? No, it's not a happy team. Now, this is a team that was very successful. They were a threat to be them and the Lakers, the battle to see who go into the finals. They were that good. and the team was dismantled from within. They couldn't get out the second round of the playoffs. So Chris Paul thought he was going to the Lakers. The league shut that down. David Stern and everybody shut it down. And one of the main reasons was that, how dare you? After you stood up in court and battled the NBA the way you did and come up with that and get them basically extorted them into taking a deal that they didn't want to take, they weren't going to let you go to the Lakers and have success. Nah, you can go to the Clippers though. You want to leave? You go to the Clippers. You ain't going to the Lakers. That was the deep-hearted, rooted problem. Now, with all of this going on, and they traded him to the Clippers, ooh, buddy boy. His new home, everybody welcomed him with open arms. Open arms. Like, yay, what's up, man? You the guy. You that guy. CP3. You the man, CP3. You the man. And that's how they viewed him. And since he got there, he showed right away the type of person he was. Him and Doc used to get into it because Doc is very hot coach and he's hot tempered when talking about how to run the point. And Doc is like him. Him and Doc normally saw eye to eye on a lot of things, and Chris will be right. It wasn't that Chris was wrong all the time. He'll be right. It's just that if you don't do it the right way and get your message over the right way, your message will be lost in translation. And please hit the like button, people. It costs you nothing to hit the like button. 199, 200 people in here. We got 38 likes. That's crazy. That is just crazy. Y'all could super chat too by clicking the link in the description box. I heard that rumor 1,000 times and none of it is true. Everybody said that's why he's mad. Austin Rivers was nailing the wife. Yeah, it's getting bad out there with the notifications. So while on the team, he decided to start a revolt of having the guys that was on his side when they started doing the scrimmage. He put his team together. Like, yo, now we gonna run it our way. The one I've been telling y'all to do it, and the way y'all been doing it is wrong. Chris Paul came in there and started running these plays and showing them how the plays work with his unit that he was doing. And the other unit that didn't have him, they were flowing. And they were winning and celebrating. And he was like, what y'all celebrating for? Y'all just beating yourselves. He was like, but see, they running the plays right. So if this was a real game, he's like, if this was a real game, we would still have more points than you. we would we would win, you would lose. Chris Paul was like, see, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. Y'all stupid. Stupid. Real stupid. So so he was mad at Big Baby. He was one of the main people on Big Baby, calling him fat, him and Doc. Man, he out of shape. He fat. He can't even get to the ball. I'm not finna get turnovers on me because you can't get to the ball, fat boy. So of course he didn't like it because every day he was like he would Chris Paul would mess with him. Uh-oh, here he come. What you got? What kind of sugar you got in that bag today? He was like, you got a training bag in there. It ain't nothing but full of food. You need cupcakes. Big baby got you. Man, ain't no food in my bag, man. Just get off my back. Y'all always ride me. Go ride somebody else. So anyway, they got Chris Paul to follow suit. And then the guy y'all see on ESPN all the time was named Ryan Hollins. Ryan Hollins was he was running the plays wrong, and Chris Paul would cuss him out. And Ryan Hollins calls himself, like because he's a Ivy League preppy guy, but he wasn't that good of a basketball player. Definitely shouldn't have been in the NBA. He wasn't NBA material at all. And Ryan Hollins got a chance to get in the game and play with these guys, and it just like, eh. But nobody could say anything because they couldn't really match his star power. Only person was Blake Griffin. And then when they got DeAndre Jordan and Blake, Chris Paul became a man on an island. He had no friends on the Clippers. For the last 2 seasons he played, he had not a friend on the Clippers. Nobody gave a damn about Chris Paul on the Clippers. It wasn't relayed to me. I was like, well, how many friends he got? He's like, he's friends, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. That's it. Nobody likes Chris Paul. And I'm like, wait a minute, he's the president of the Players Union. And they've been trying to get him removed. Nobody wants him up there. Nobody. So if it wasn't for LeBron, he probably still wouldn't even have that position. Nobody likes Chris Paul, man. I'm like, wow. He's like, do you ever see anybody going to a Chris Paul birthday party? He's like, cuz once people who first meet him, he always get like rookies. He's like rookies or new guys that's coming up, then they'll get around him. And then they find out what type of person he is, they ain't around him no more. He said whenever Steph Curry don't like you, and Steph Curry grew up in his camp, came up in his camp, went to his little ping pong games, went on Family Feud with Chris Paul, and he don't like you. Whenever Steph Curry don't really want to be around you, you got a problem. You got a very serious problem, young man. They called Chris Paul in for a meeting with the Clippers. Doc had a talk with him, and they was like, Blake's gonna want to leave, if we don't get rid of you. Like Blake is like, it was 2 seasons before. What was it? No, the season before, like they had just got eliminated out of the playoffs. Chris Paul, I think, had broken his hand or something in the playoffs, and he was out the playoffs. They were up 2-1, and he ended up losing. He had broke his hand, and he was out. Blake, I think, was already out that series. And Blake didn't even want to risk coming back. He was like, Chris Paul, something got to happen with Chris. We can't go through another season of this. Because DeAndre Jordan used to come in and break them up because Blake is a superstar. Blake was the biggest superstar on the team, and Chris Paul was like second fiddle, and he don't want to be second fiddle to nobody. So they get into it in practice because Chris Paul is cussing at him and saying, you ain't doing this right, and cussing at him, and he ain't going for that. So he started talking back. And then Chris Paul put his hand in his face, and then he threw a swipe at Chris Paul, and that was it. They about to fight. So when that was over, DeAndre Jordan is the one that broke him up. Next thing you know, he started getting him into DeAndre Jordan started going at him the way he was talking. But he ain't gonna keep talking like that to DeAndre. Because DeAndre's like, look here, man. You know what? I know this kind of your thing, and you've been doing what you're doing, and you got stripes and all that. Look, but I don't care about records, all-star games, how many all-star you is. Look, we men. Everybody in this locker room is a man. And everybody gonna want respect. Same way you asking for it. So you gotta learn how to talk to people, man. I swear to God, DeAndre Jordan gave him a heart-to-heart and told him exactly what I just told you. He gave the man a heart-to-heart because he was this close from knocking his head off his shoulders. Like, just so you would know. Don't talk to me like that. So DeAndre Jordan started not to like it, and he was like, but he would listen to Chris. So him and Chris got out, they got along because Chris Paul knows how to pick his fights. He gonna say, all right, you hear me though. He's like, I hear you, and you right. But I tell him, because you seem to have a way, you come off wrong when you trying to say, how am I saying it wrong? So he was like, what you should have did was you trying to make him look stupid. And see, when you try to do that, you got to realize this is a superstar on a team. You know what I'm saying? You trying to make him look small in front of all the other players out there, on his teammates. It's a way you do things. He said, better yet, if I did that to you on the court in front of them, when you wouldn't feel some type of way? So DeAndre Jordan he understood Chris Paul. He understood he's a guy that has a Napoleon complex. He always was put down because of his size, because he was considered short. Even though he's like 6 feet tall, people looked at him like he's short and like a little guy. And he hated it. He hated it. He don't want nobody touching his head. He got, man, don't rub my head, man. Don't rub my head. I'm like, man, what in the world is wrong with this dude? I ain't your little boy. I ain't your son. Don't rub my head, man. Swear, he almost fought Pau Gasol over that. Pau was like, oh, hey, how you doing, dude? Pat. He almost broke out in a fight. I don't want nobody touching my head. And here, speaking of it, here's the guy right here. You must know that I'm live or something, because you seem to always call when I'm live.
It's 5 o'clock. It's the standard time.
It's the standard time. You haven't been standard in I don't know how long.
Why did he do it, man?
Yeah, they got rid of your guy.
Oh my God! But for even worse, the guy.
For even worse, a guy. Y'all never satisfied out there in Houston. Y'all got Russell Westbrook in there, and him and Harden, they back together again.
But here's the thing: James Harden could always punk Shorty dirty. You punk him out and yell at him and scream and just shut up and submit. He can't do that with Westbrook. Westbrook's an alpha male. He'll punch James Harden right back in his face.
They former teammates. They best friends.
No, they're not. That's why they broke up in the first place.
No, that's not. They're better friends than Kevin Durant and them. They were all three of them was on the same team. They went to the NBA Finals together, so they had no problems. And y'all got James Harden off default because OKC got real stupid and gonna offer him the money and tell him you got like 1 day to sign it and let them know. And he was like, what? He's like, 1 day? He's like, you know what? We out of here. He's like, they just gonna offer us this at the last minute and then tell us we got only a day to make a decision. Like, forget it. We going over here. And Houston gave James Harden what he wanted, and he was out. And they had just went to the NBA Finals, and he been in Houston ever since. So they never had any bad times when they played.
They're gonna be bad friends this time because soon as it's down to the fourth quarter with 30 seconds left, and they got to decide who's going to take the final shot. And Westbrook's like, me. And Harden's like, man, I'm the king of this castle. Like, man, but I can drive in and draw the shot and make the shot.
No,
man,
that's where you're wrong. These are two guys that's gonna be fighting for a triple double. Somebody said it first. Somebody's like, they're gonna be the first team in history to be losing by 25 points and they're gonna lose a game by 25 points and have two guys with triple doubles. He's like, they're gonna have two guys on the same team with a triple double and they're gonna lose by 25. They're gonna be high fiving.
Tyson Chandler, Tyson Chandler gonna be the first center on the team at the end of the season. Like, how did he go 82? First of all, we're impressed you win the game straight without being injured. And Tyson Chandler be like, thank you. But we just confused. And Chandler's gonna be like, what? How you play 82 games and only got 7 rebounds for the whole season?
Yeah, that's Tyson Chandler for you. Remember, he was gonna save the Lakers. Remember that? He was gonna save the Lakers. He was the difference maker. Tyson Chandler, the difference maker.
Man, he didn't make no difference. And then he gonna blame Westbrook and Harden. Well, I would get rebounds, but you know, they got 20 apiece, so that's 40 rebounds a game. I didn't have to rebound. I just stood there.
Well, they saying the Houston Rockets are now they finna take out the Lakers now. That's all they needed. They said.
Yeah, they won't even get past the first round.
You from Houston, man? Where in the world going on? You from Houston? How close are you to the stadium?
It takes me. I can be there in 30 minutes.
30 minutes from the stadium, and you sitting there talking about the Rockets gonna be out in the first round. Where is your loyalty?
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, Kev. I'm gonna actually start, since we got our website, since we cover boxing and basketball, I'm gonna start applying for media credentials. And I'm gonna go right there, and I'll be like the worst person afterwards that's gonna ask questions.
Oh, this ain't boxing. You ain't getting in. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You ain't getting in. They pick people for that.
Kev, what have I told you? Kev, they told me that I can get you in to start covering the Detroit Pistons.
I'll be in Detroit. I'll be like, I'm in the car right now. I'm on my way.
How long of a drive is it from where you at to the stadium?
About 4.5 hours. From where I'm at now, it's about 4 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, if we can get media credentials to the Detroit Pistons, you will cover them from time to time.
Yeah, it depends.
I'm gonna put you down for it.
No. That's why I'm gonna stop you right now. I ain't finna be driving 4.5 hours to Detroit.
I'm like, yeah, it's Christmas Day. They're expecting you to be there.
I'll be the Lakers are playing the Clippers. I'm gonna be sitting in my house watching that Lakers and Clippers game. And plus, I don't think Detroit game gonna be aired.
Is that what they did? They sent the Clippers versus the Lakers on Christmas Day.
No, the schedule ain't out yet, but I already know that's gonna be the Christmas Day game. The Battle of LA. That's gonna be the game right there.
So, Kevin, nobody's talking about the Golden State Warriors now. They just wrote them off.
Oh yeah, they just threw them out. They out in the trash. They out there like, we'll play for food.
Oh wow.
We'll play for food. Man, I got 2 MVPs and 3 championships. Oh man, Kevin Durant though.
So Kevin Durant came there, stole the MVP when it should have went to separate play, and then he pounced on him.
Yeah. So now that he had his time. But yeah, so we still going down Chris, Paul's career. That's what this video is about. And you came in the middle of it. So now I gotta get back to that. We're talking about when he was on the Clippers. So at this point, Blake Griffin is saying either you trade Chris Paul or I gotta go. And DeAndre Jordan was the only thing keeping Blake Griffin from punching Chris Paul in the face. And now DeAndre Jordan don't like Chris Paul. And so nobody, Austin Rivers didn't like him. Nobody liked him.
Yeah. Name me one person that liked him. Name me one. I'll wait.
LeBron James is the only one. Him, Melo, and Dwayne Wade.
Oh my God.
They banana boats, and you know why? None of them has played with him. None of them has played with him. That's why.
And they put him in the middle. He was the sandwich.
Yep. None of them has played with this guy. Melo played with him for about how many games? 5, 6, 7 games, and he was out. He came to Houston and played with him for like how many games Melo played? Like 7 games, and he was out.
Yep.
Melo was out.
What happened? I thought he said that I'm not going nowhere. That's what Shorty Dirty said.
Yeah, that's what he said. But what did I tell you? I told you what happened. He was finna come to the Bulls. They were trying to trade him to the Chicago Bulls. I got the word personally from people that work in the Chicago Bulls organization. You forget, I got family that worked there. I knew what was happening. I got a call saying, hey, we might be getting Chris Paul. I'm like, and he's like, I'm serious. And here's the deal. Laurie Macarin, Chris Dunn, and a couple of draft picks, and they ready to send Chris Paul over. This might be happening in a week. I'm like, what? I went live immediately. It's like, no, this is real. This is real.
Wow.
And I knew, I was like, I'm getting it from the Bulls. Some people that work for the Bulls. He wouldn't sell me nothing that wasn't true. So I knew for a fact that this was a real thing and it was a real problem.
Well, Kev, y'all still might get him. As they announced today, the insiders said that he'll never see Oklahoma Thunder shirt. He'll never put one on. They're still trying to trade him. So y'all might get him over at the Bulls.
I doubt that. I doubt OKC. I doubt OKC trade him.
The Bulls, they'll be stupid enough to give him like 6 first-round picks, 2 baby mamas, 3 kids, and a Jaguar.
No, they blew it. They tried to get Capella in there. Then Chris Paul found out about what was going on and went up to the office and cussed out Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey was like, no, we're not trying to trade you. We're just looking at other teams. And he got all scared because Chris Paul cussed him out. Like, hey, man, you don't trade me. And then I ain't going to no Bulls. Like, what is you doing? I'm the president of the Players Union. Do you want problems with me? So he's trying to use his authority. So then he goes out and put out a press release. I'm not getting traded. I'm not going anywhere. Don't you believe the headlines? I'm staying right here. Morley, like, I never said I was trading him. He's like, yeah, you did. You called me yesterday. Other teams is like, you was trying to get rid of him.
Let me ask this. Why do they lie like that? If they're trading a person, why don't they man up and say, yeah, I'm trying to trade you? What's the problem? Why are you so scared?
Because players have egos, and nobody has a bigger one than little Napoleon over there. Chris Paul.
Shorty Dirty.
Shorty Dirty. So Shorty Dirty got the biggest one. He don't want nobody to think they trying to get rid of him. So then now they trying to say he wanted to be traded. But he never wanted to go over there to OKC. That's what I'm saying. Now he got to learn how to do the hokey pokey now, and the achy breaky heart and Old Town Road. He gonna be over there.
Well, Cam, Shorty Dirty lied when the report came out that Chris Paul and James Harden hasn't spoken in months now, and they're in friction. He comes out on Twitter and says, "What? This the first I heard of this. Y'all really be reaching." I'm gonna find out it's true.
Well, of course it's true. Well, nobody reaching. James Harden ain't speaking to him as long as he lived ever again. Everybody knew that. They had a big fallout at the end of Game 6 when they lost. He wasn't coming back. Harden like, look, either you move him or you move me. I ain't playing with him. The only dumb thing Houston did was sign Chris Paul to that contract. Oh, why in the world would you give a 33-year-old man that kind of money?
Right.
I'm like, y'all done lost y'all mind. Then now they didn't hit the wall. He still owed $170 million. Whoever take Chris Paul is a fool. So they were nice enough to dump him off the OKC, who need a star on their roster. And he actually fit in real good there. He'll fit in real good with him. The other teammates can really shine with him because he slows the game down tremendously.
Yep. And Chris Paul is going to be another Carmelo Anthony. I don't care. I'm still getting paid. I don't care. I make more money than you.
Well, that ain't him. He wanted to win too. So that was his thing. He wanted to go to a contender. Everybody think LeBron gonna get him. The Clippers definitely don't want him. They definitely don't want Chris Paul back. The Lakers, I guarantee you, if he go to the Lakers, he will destroy that whole team, and LeBron knows it.
But Westbrook is going to be carrying a hole in the James Harden. You know, Westbrook's all about playing defense. And the first time Harden has somebody just scored that I get, sometimes he'll score, he's going to talk on him. Do you not know what defense is?
Yep.
Now, if they would have told me that they would have got Westbrook and Steven Adams, then I would like, okay, now I can see them in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, probably.
Why did they get Steven Adams?
Well, Steven Adams is staying on OKC. Why would they get rid of him? Grizzly Adams has no problem being in that town. So you got to understand, Sean, it's like a town. It's like certain small suburban towns. Oklahoma City, the whole town shut down at like 10 o'clock. The only thing they got open is a steakhouse that stay open. They be like, woo, we're going to stay open to 9:45 tonight. All right, we partying. You're going to be like, wait a minute. Is there an after party? We just had it. We decided to kick it. We normally close at 8. When the sun go down, that's when we close our eyes and go to sleep. Then when the roosters start roosting, we wake up and get up and at them.
Man, that sounds like that's where Tanya would want to be.
Yeah, she would love that. Tell her to move to Oklahoma City. She will fit right on in.
But Kev, didn't they think that they say you said he's the face of Oklahoma? Didn't they say the same thing about Kevin Love? And what happened there with the Cleveland? They had like the worst record.
What? Well, what about Kevin Love?
Just like how you said, well, Steven Adams, why do you want to trade him? He's going to be the face of Oklahoma. I said they thought Kevin Love was going to be the face of Cleveland. And they had almost the worst record in the NBA.
Kevin Love missed almost the entire season. What are you talking about? He missed almost the entire season with an injury.
Hey, Kev, I'll tell you what you're right on. You remember you said that Terry Rozier, that he messed up when he went on TV and bashed everybody. They moved him right over where he at, North Carolina. They moved him to a state that has a population of 3 black people. Didn't he say Bashir was going to get traded for running his mouth?
Well, no, he was a free agent, so he was already gone. They wasn't signing him back. So he knew he was gone. So that's why he started dumping on everybody. So that's why I say he definitely ain't coming back to the Celtics.
Oh yeah, hey, they got Kemba Walker now, right, Boston?
Yeah, and they did a sign and trade, and they did a sign and trade, traded him over, and now they gone.
So is Boston going to be any type of contender now they got Kemba Walker or no?
Boston, no, they lost Al Horford and they lost Marcus Morris. So basically, they're done. They have no bench. They got Brown out there. They got Horford, who they really wanted anyway. So now they got Horford out there. They got Kemba Walker, and they still got the same problem. Now you don't have Big Al. You have no big man. Now Bane's gonna have to be working overtime.
Hey Kevin, what about your boy over in Milwaukee Bucks? I hear Giannis Antetokounmpo got his little brother signed. Now his little brother out of college playing with him on the Bucks.
That's his big brother. That's his oldest brother.
But you know, older brother?
Yeah.
So are they gonna make no big the Milwaukee Bucks?
There's only one other Antetokounmpo that's worth something, and that's the youngest one. He's like he ain't ready yet. He's getting there. He's the only one that could compete right now with Giannis.
Yeah, you're saying Giannis is the younger?
No, he ain't the youngest. He's like I think he's the second oldest.
Yeah, but he got his little brother. His little brother just came out of college. They just signed him to the Bucks.
Oh no, that's not his. That's his older brother. His older brother's on his team playing with him. Then he got another brother that was picked up on another team. So I think it's three of them now. It's four. It's four of them all together. He got three other brothers. Yeah.
Oh man. But Giannis is the best out of all of them, though, right?
Yeah, right now he is. But there's one that's coming. He's shorter than him. He's shorter than Giannis, but he's about just as good as Giannis was coming out. He's got a tough game.
Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks going to be the first NBA team in over 6 years that's going to have almost an all-white lineup starting five.
Well, they trying to do it. Mark Cuban is going for it.
I've never seen 10 white guys on an NBA team since the 60s.
Well, that's him. He's the Jackie Moon of basketball owners.
And then
the NBA, baby.
And then they get Steph Curry.
Yep. Well, they brought him back. Steph Curry used to be in Dallas.
Yeah, so that's 11 white guys.
Well, he's mixed, so they can play the black card too. They be like, we have a black guy. We got Seth Curry. His father's Del Curry. He's black. He's black. You trying to say he's not black?
Yeah, I bet they were happy when Dirk Nowitzki retired. Like, yeah, we freed up $15 million a year. We got space. They gonna invest all the money in Luka Doncic.
Yep. So back to the Chris Paul dilemma. Chris Paul went in there and got traded to the Houston Rockets. And guess who they gave up? Guess who the Houston Rockets gave up to the Los Angeles Clippers to get Chris Paul? The Rockets said we need one player. They gave up Lou Williams, Harrell, Patrick Beverly, and a draft pick. Y'all gave up the Los Angeles Clippers gold. The Clippers now are ahead of you because you didn't gave them 3 of the best players that you had. If you would have just kept those guys, you would have eventually beat people. You just gave up on these 3 guys, and now all 3 of these guys are very key in the Los Angeles Clippers dynasty. You gave up a defensive master lock in Harrell. Just gave him up for Chris Paul. They were toasting in the Los Angeles. The logo is the greatest general manager of all times. And he's just like an advisor. He's just really sitting back and making decisions. And he's just like, I know who can play and who can't. Nah, Harrell is like a young Dennis Rodman out there. He getting it done. So now they built the whole dynasty for the Los Angeles Clippers, who are going to be ahead of him now. And what happened? 2 years later, here you are signing Chris Paul to a massive $170 million contract. And now you getting rid of him. So you lost Lou Williams for nothing. You lost Harrell for nothing and Patrick Beverly. Say bye-bye to your defense. And you wonder. And they trade Alex Ariza away. So now you have nothing.
Wait a minute. Trevor Ariza, not Alex Ariza.
I didn't say Alex Ariza. I said Trevor Ariza.
No, you said Alex Ariza.
I said Trevor Ariza.
Alex Ariza's on your mind. He's opening up Americana again. Oh, but that fight is another hour. Man, wait, I gotta watch this.
What's in another hour?
Americana versus Billy Diz in an hour.
Americana's fighting?
Yeah, they fight in Saudi Arabia. The 2 Muslim brothers.
Is it what?
Americana
Is that on ESPN or something?
They got it on some Arabic channel. I don't know the name of the Arabic. It's on some kind of stuff.
Oh, well, he'll beat Billy Dibb.
Billy Diz been retired for 3 years.
I know. That's what I was going to say. He got retired from getting knocked out all the time.
And then Saudi Arabia, so the way to make money, you had to put Muslim brothers against each other.
Yep. Look at this. People still talking about they're not getting notifications. It's terrible. It's terrible what's happening there.
Sometimes I'll go back and forth with you about this. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's sabotage, but what can you do? Somebody else said I said Alex. You said Alex. I did not say Alex. I said Trevor Ariza.
That's why I bust out laughing. Yeah, but they got rid of Trevor Ariza. Like, why would you get rid of Trevor Ariza? Like, Patrick Beverly is just like, it's Patrick Beverly and Lou Williams. And Lou Williams, he's the only person I see get decided 6 years in a row. And the 6th man off the bench for the 7th year in a row.
Right, Lou.
He was like, yeah, 7 years in a row, the 6th man off the winner. So like, how do you get so much pride in being a 6th man 7 years in a row?
Hey, nobody want to make him the starter. And he's like, I'll start if they make me the starter.
Yeah, you know how many times that man has won 6th man of the year award?
A lot.
Yeah. At what point do you realize that a person is good enough to start versus coming off the bench and they keep winning the award year after year?
Man, I don't even know.
He'll come off the bench and score like 30 points a game. I'm like,
Yeah.
at what point do you think
And I mean, they had 2 guys when he was on Houston. They were both fighting for the awards, him and Gordon. Both of them was up for 6 Man of the Year. I'm like, wait a minute. How you got two people on the same team going for 6 Man of the Year?
Exactly.
Everybody coming in here saying I said Alex. Then they was like, you see no hands all time.
When I heard you said it, called me right away. I said, he means Trevor. And he said Alex. I said, he must be getting ready for the marathon fight hour. He gonna be dealing that juicy juice in the corner. Billy did get knocked out.
Yep. And yeah, he got rid of his trainer now. He got a new trainer, Amir Khan.
Wait a minute. Oh, Virgil gone?
Yeah, Virgil gone. He got rid of Virgil.
Oh, man. Virgil gonna beat him up next time he see him.
No, he ain't, because Virgil's like, this is it, son. This is it.
Wait a minute. Have you trying to tell me he's giving up on America?
Ben gave up. He didn't want to do that fight. I done told you. A warrior fights until something breaks. And you go on anyway. And even when there's nothing else to feel like you can't even feel your body and you just moving forward. And you don't see it, but everybody else see it. I ain't gonna let nothing else happen to you. But that boy beat you tonight. I thought he killed you and brought you back to life and killed you again. I ain't gonna let that happen to you no more. Terrence Crawford was gonna kill you. I stopped that fight.
Hey, look, the America's like, I got hit with the first kick punch in the first round and you waved it off. That was enough.
Yeah, that was enough. So Khan rather go out eating soup. Now Billy Dib come back and knock Khan out. He know he better hang it up.
And if he knocks out Amir Khan, oh my God. You ain't supposed to let a man that's been retired 3 years come back and knock you out, man.
All he gotta do is clip him. But Billy Dib don't have any power. I mean, it's like hitting a light switch, Sean. As soon as you hit him on the head, it's like boom. It just shut down. And he just gets, but he get right back up. Like it's all flash. And then until he get really hit, and then that's the one that he just like looking at the stars. And he was getting knocked like that in the amateurs. When they had headgear, he was getting knocked out like that.
Right.
But everybody put all that money into him because he's so fast. Look at the blinding speed and power. I'm like, he ain't got no power. He don't even punch correctly. This guy's gonna get destroyed.
Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, let me do this, Tim. I just pulled up to the house, man. I'll hit you back a little bit later.
All right.
All right, peace.
All right. That was the boxing socialist. That was the boxing socialist himself, Sean Craddock. I'm your boy Carcino here, and let's get to it. Let's finish this off. So Chris Paul, short and dirty, in Houston, kept talking about James Harden's man boots. Started talking about how lazy he was, how he wasn't committing to the play. He's walking up and down the court. He was. See, the thing is, Chris Paul was right. Chris Paul was right. He's misunderstood. Is how he relays his rightness. Is that people are super sensitive. He was right. Everything he said about James Harden was right. Even the man boobs. But what he needed to do was slap the testosterone patches on James Harden. He should have gave him those testosterone patches and say, put them on your arm right here, right here, right here, right here. There you go. Got that testosterone going? Yeah, that'll knock all that out. You got too much estrogen in your system right now. You James Softon. He called me James Softon again. I don't know why he keeps doing that. He's calling me James Softon. I don't know. I don't like it. Go. Get away. I said Trevor Ariza. So he don't know how to relay the message to people. He don't know how to talk to people. That's his problem. His main problem. After game 6, y'all heard what James Harden said? Y'all forgot what James Harden said after game 6.
Especially against a great team like that. Like, you want to give yourself the best chance. First season, we got to give ourselves the best chance. And that number 1, number 2 seed. So he's part of it. You said you know exactly what you need to do. What is that? You know, we'll talk about it. Dancing, when you get that number 1, number 2 seed. So
You know exactly what he needs to do.
You said you know exactly what you need to do. What is that? You know, we'll talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. I know exactly what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do.
How proud are you of your teammates the way they fought today? Bro, that's kind of what on your body, no matter what, what troubles our way, find a way to fight through, find a way to top. Tonight we came up a little short, but this is a pretty good year for us.
James, do you feel like y'all let an opportunity slip away with not being able to win this game?
Of course. We've had a lot of opportunities to win. Opportunities in the game, last game, opportunities in the game 1 and 2. So take advantage of the opportunity. Game Mike was saying that this one's really gonna steam even more than normal. What are you feeling right now? It always hurts when your season ends. Knowing that you got opportunities, very, very frustrating. Just gotta let it sink in a little bit and find ways to be better. James, obviously, the Warriors have been the one hurdle you guys haven't been able to get over. Do you feel like there needs to be significant changes to be made to get past them, or just keep swinging, keep swinging? Keep fighting, man. Obviously, they're a very, very good team. Like, they're a great team. They've been in the finals for the last 4 or 5 years. Like, we're not losing to some scrubs. So we got to find a way to keep getting better, keep growing, keep getting better, and keep putting ourselves in a position to keep playing them. Like, give them credit. They played well. Obviously, they've been in a situation before, and Clay got it going in the first half. We kind of shut him down, and Steph Steph got it going. So, talented group.
James, shift to your left a little bit. Along those lines, and particularly frustrating in that there's just not a lot of margin for error against a team like this. And
it's not. It's not frustrating. It is what it is. Like, we're in the postseason and you're playing against the best players in the world. You know, so you got to be on your A game on both ends of the floor, whether it's switching screens or rebounding the basketball or not turning the basketball over and giving them fuel in transition. Like, you have to be on your A game. And the games that we lost, we weren't.
James, Chris, and Mike both talked about the big plays and how the Rockets really couldn't come and make a big play. Can you just kind of elaborate on that and what the struggle was to make the big play for you guys?
I think that's what it is. Whether it's a big play can be anything. Whether it's not just shot making, it's rebounding, boxing out, switching correctly, all those little things. And we gave Steph 3 open looks, and he nailed all of them. And so that's right there. Those are the big plays. Like, we don't give him those open looks, and we get the rebound. We give ourselves a chance to go up, but we didn't. And he makes a shot, and it puts more pressure on offense.
Even though Kevin didn't play today, the guys that did play for them, they've been together for 5-6 years. How much do you think that continuity helps them? Would you like to see this team have the opportunity to grow like that together?
Yeah, like, they've been together for a long time. So even with KD not playing, they're still the same team. They still know their stuff, and they execute, and they run their stuff, and they play hard. So nothing changes. It's just Steph and Clay get more shot opportunities.
James, do you have a sense of what needs to happen to get over this hurdle? Even if the roster
Here it is.
Is there something?
I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. Just we'll figure it out this summer.
We'll figure it out in the summer. I know exactly what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do, and we're going to figure it out in the summer. He told you.
We'll figure it out this summer.
I know exactly what we need to do.
Experiences that get you the next step that they've stopped each time?
I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. Just we'll figure it out this summer.
I know exactly what we need to do. Oh, I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. And we gonna figure it out in the summer. Well, the summer. Chris should have been packing. Chris should have been packing that night. Chris should have been like, oh, man, let me fold these clothes. Put this house on the market. Tell Woodland Hills I enjoyed it. Oh, man. Tell Woodland Hills. Let's go look at some new schools. Come here, son. We going on a trip to a whole new school. Again. Daddy done did it again. Had to open my big old mouth. I don't think OKC gonna get rid of him. Oh, I wasn't laughing at my jokes. I'm laughing at James Harden. James Harden, baby. My man said, I know exactly what we need to do.
We'll figure it out in the summer.
We'll figure it out in the summer.
I know what we need to do.
I know what we need to do.
I know exactly what we need to do. We'll figure it out in the summer.
Figure it out in the summer. It's definitely summer. It's definitely summer, baby.
Obviously, you guys are always playing to win. But did you find yourselves kind of in a spot where sometimes you find yourself accidentally playing not to lose in some situations?
Nah, I mean, personally, that never was in my mind. I was out there trying to find ways to impact the game like usual. You know, whether it's shot making, whether it's creating some pace with our defense or whatnot. Just finding ways. Like every game, every possession is going to be something different. So just trying to give the guys confidence and motivation and want to go out there and play hard and have fun.
James, you guys obviously came a long way this year after the start, 1-5.
That's right, Junior.
But if you look back at the big picture, did that hurt you guys at all? Just the number 4 seed, not having home court advantage, and when you're trying to win a title, not starting the way a championship team does.
That's exactly you hit it on the nail. Especially against a great team like that, like you want to give yourself the pace with our defense or what. I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. We'll figure it out in the summer.
Stop each time.
I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. We'll figure it out in the summer.
We'll figure it out in the summer. I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. And we'll figure it out in the summer. And they figured it out in the summer. They figured it all out. Yo, CP3, yeah, you the pass, bro. Yo, CP3. Yo, James Harden wanted me to tell you your services are no longer needed in the community. Murray's, I only use Dax.